to talk a little bit about using this dishwasher. When it's running, it's extremely hot inside, so you have to be very careful with that. It's important to make. The first step is there are the plumbing. There's a shut-off valve here. If you can see that yellow handle, and then it has to be turned so that the handle is in line with the pipes, and that allows water to be delivered to the washer. It's important to have water inside before you turn any electricity on, because the heaters could possibly overheat if there's no water inside. So you want to make sure that the water is on. And then, assuming you've done that, then you can start turning on the electrical power, and there's 4 switches for that. The first one is the circuit panel. Let's see, which one is it? Dishwasher, so labeled number 8. You have to turn that on. It's off right now. We'll leave it off. And then there's another power. They call it a safety switch. This big gray box. There's a big handle, black with a black tip on it. You pull that up. Right now it's in the off position. That's the second of 4. And then the third one is on the side of the control unit. It's right here. That's like a circuit breaker as well. That has to be flipped up. And then the fourth one is just heater on. And then if there's water in the tank, then you can start heating it. And it does take some time until the water's hot enough to be used. I usually run it 3 or 4 cycles without any dishes, just to make sure that the water is warm. There are thermometers to show the temperature of the wash water, which is 150 Fahrenheit, and rinse, which is 180. It's almost boiling, so it's extremely hot. The wash cycle takes about 2 minutes, and then the rinse cycle takes a minute. And when the dishes come out, they're so hot, they're self-drying, so you can just push them off to the side and let them cool, and they'll be dry when they're cool. So that's what it looks like inside. Oops. This is a filter for catching clay. So that has to be put in place and then taken out at the end and cleaned out. The way the dishwasher is used, dirty dishes and silverware are put in these trays. To clean the dishes, first thing we do is we scrape them into the trash can, and then we slide the tray over here. We can use the water to rinse. Manually, you can get them pretty clean that way, and then they go into the dishwasher. And we use powdered detergents like Cascade. One of these scoops, 1 scoop for every other load, and that just gets put in the water. And then you can close these doors, and then there's a switch. I think it's just this one you toggle on and off. Yeah. If it's up, you press it down, it'll cycle through the wash and rinse, and then when the next load, you just go from down to up, and then the next run will happen. It's important that when the rinse is finished, and you'll hear it, the sound just becomes very quiet. It's done. When you open these doors, do it very carefully, because basically steam will come out scalding hot. So I use this, and I just carefully pry that open, let the steam come out, and then I just slide this over here. Move some things. Slide it to the side and just let everything dry and cool on its own. And then once that's, and then there are many of these trays for handling dishes and silverware, and so you can do, and since it only takes 3 minutes per load, it's pretty fast. When you're finished, the first thing I do is turn off all 4 electrical switches. The heater, the one on the power, I think, on the side, the big gray box, and then the circuit panel. And then the water inside is so hot, you have to wait a while. We have a tool which is kept here. which allows you to grab the filter. It's best to wait a few minutes if you can, because it's basically almost scalding hot when you first start to shut things down. So you have to be careful with that. And then when you pull that out, it drains the water out. And then the last thing is you can then turn off the water supply, and it's ready to be used the next time. Oh, and there are instructions here with some, they got a little wet, but they're even diagrams, pictures, so that may be helpful if you forget something. So,
Okay.
that's it.